week's episode was I think pretty good. It set up a lot of things for the next episode or the mid-season finale. So let's get started. First of all, we have Ted Grant, aka Wildcat, finally revealed as Wildcat during this episode. We have Roy Harper finally be called Arsenal, being established as Arsenal as the episode progresses, and I really like the fact that they used the comic book to set this up. It was pretty cool. So we initially have the Arrow team trying to hunt down who's been killing these gangbangers and tying them upside down, and this leads them to Ted Grant's gym where Laurel Lance is continuing to train. Why? Because she's Laurel Lance. She's a woman in strength and toughness, and she's gonna be strong. God damn it, because she's not weak. But anyways, yeah, and Arrow coincidentally suspects Ted Grant of being the murderer because one guy ends up dead at his gym, but Laurel Lance, the one that wants to be strong, is gonna defend her man, Ted Grant, aka Wildcat. And Oliver is like, hold up, how can you defend it? It's clear that he's the murderer. But she's convinced that he's not the murderer because she's Laurel Lance, and Ted Grant is her trainer because she needs to be strong. Anyways, so Oliver and Ted Grant initially decide to work together to find out who's actually the killer, although Oliver has his doubts. And we find out that Ted Grant, before Oliver came to the city as Arrow, was actually Wildcat, taking down crime long before Oliver, doing his thing. And we also find out that Ted Grant had a partner just like Oliver has Roy, and that partner kind of went haywire and crazy and ended up killing a gangster, which led to Ted Grant abandoning him, which led to his partner being tortured for several years before he escaped. And once he escaped, the young man wanted revenge, and so he starts killing these gangbangers and trying to frame his partner, Ted Grant. So we have this whole chase at the end, where Laurel's trying to prove herself with Ted Grant in the car, with being a hostage to his partner, and Laurel, because of her new training, is sly enough to call Felicity and miscall her and let them know that she's about to be killed. So the Arrow team races their way to it and to save her. And by this point, they already know that Roy Harper thinks that he killed Sarah, and they're devastated, blah blah blah. But they try to get through it. They try to figure it out. So Roy comes back during the scene when to defeat Ted Grant's previous sidekick, and he does. And he's trying to convince sidekick tries to convince Roy Harper that you're just an arsenal, you're just a weapon to Arrow, you're nothing more than that. And he ends up knocking him out and defeating him and whatnot. And they save the day, they find the killer, Ted Grant's free to go. They establish all that whole stuff, and in the end scene, Roy Harper's like, okay, I killed Sarah, I'm sorry, I should take a break, blah blah blah. And he's like, don't leave me, don't abandon me, it's all emotional and stuff. And Arrow's like, I will never abandon you, and you are my arsenal. That's what you should be called. And so you have the establishment of Arsenal, and you have the establishment of Wildcat, and I'm just curious to know if Wildcat would be brought back as the actual character Wildcat, or that's just it. And I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with Roy Harper as Arsenal, and who's actually the killer of Sarah, because the thing we have is Oliver doing this whole remembering meditation mind technique that he learned in Hong Kong during one of his flashbacks during this episode, to remember this letter thing where he dropped this letter during this chase. And basically he does the same thing with Roy, with like a candle and whatnot, and he reminds Roy that he actually didn't kill Sarah. That memory of him killing Sarah was actually him killing a cop, which was replaced because of the Mirror Crew and his guilt. So he actually didn't kill Sarah, so what the hell. He actually killed a cop, but instead of being relieved, he's like, oh, I'm still a murderer, I need to take a break. And Oliver's just like, god damn it, all that work and he still feels guilty. But anyways, I'm just curious how the season will progress. I'm pretty interested in to see what happens with Thea. She's gonna finally come out and kick ass, or she's still gonna stay reserved. I'm curious to see what happens with Wildcat, if Laurel Lance. I doubt they're gonna make Laurel Lance Black Canary in this season, but I'm just curious to know what's up with this new character that we got introduced at the end. Cupid. So I'm wondering, is she the killer of Little Lance, or is someone else with like actual miracle or strength? So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Look forward to more reviews of different shows, gameplays, etc., etc. And if you like the video, leave your comments, suggestions, how can we get better, how you like it, and leave a like. Thanks. Peace.